We're back.
Oh,
Got some music still playing, but we're back.
I guess.
We are live.
Hello.
I don't know why the music keeps playing. There we go. Oh,
No, it's still playing.
still going.
Hota, why is the music playing? All right.
We're
Hey,
back. We're back.
Hota really likes us. You know, he had it all going, man. He kept the music going. There it is. There we go. Well, I'm sure that George and we want to thank everybody that showed up at the boat show. We had a great time.
Yeah, a lot of people came by, said hello. It was great.
Yeah, a lot of nice people came by. Got to see a lot of people at the seminars.
We got reverb. Somebody's got something.
It ain't me.
It might be Holta.
I don't know. But anyway, we've got it, everybody. Thank you very much again. And, got to sell a couple of boats. And it was just fun being able to educate as many people as we could. What killed it Saturday, the poor people over at the fairgrounds, they were told at the last minute, like the week before that, oh, we're going to have a little car show on, where they have the amphitheater.
Right.
Yeah, well, they forgot to tell them what kind of car show. Everybody's thinking one of those where, you bring your old car, you have the hood up, people sit next to the car. No, it was one of these teeny bopper, real loud, and it was a drifting tournament.
Yeah,
with the cars. Well, they said the Corvette took first place and then some other car took second place. But, the one people that really love those guys are the tire companies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because that they're going through a whole back tires by the time they're done.
Oh, sure. Without a doubt. You can't do that kind of wear and tear. And I tell you, some of them were pretty loud, man. And
well, between that and the music, and when we were out there, it looked like there was something on fire. That they were burning so much rubber on that thing, it was smoking.
Oh, you could smell it. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know. I mean, I used to like racing. The drifting came in after. That was after my, let's say, growing up. So I didn't really do that. That wasn't something until after I was older. But man, they love that drifting.
I remember when I was young, boy, I used to pop that clutch, had that motor revved up, and hear those back tires.
Yeah, I mean, we were all into racing. I had a souped up Camaro that I souped up and a Charger, racing. But drifting's a whole different. That's a whole different game. That's for sure.
Over here, make a note. Okay. No, but you know what? The weather was nice both days outside.
Yeah.
Actually, some people were complaining it was cold inside.
Yeah, I heard that. But that nice weather on Saturday, I think, hurt the boat show for attendance a little bit because you want to be on a boat or you want to look at a boat.
Well,
Sunday was pretty good.
And the other thing too was, I heard the complaint between the Strawberry Festival. Usually the traffic backs up some because of the strawberry, but with this, when we left Saturday, that whole parking lot when you went out on the right side, it was packed. There was thousands of people there.
Yeah, it was packed. There's no doubt. And even getting there for me took longer. I had there was just a lot of backup, and then of course the normal I-4 backup where that meets 275. That's always bad.
Well, some people called me and said, Sergio, I've been in line for 40 minutes on I-75 and I can't get to I-4. It's so backed up. So we're getting off at the first, the first exit that comes up, and I can see it.
Oh yeah, it definitely wears on your patience. That's for sure. So there was a lot of bad traffic. That's for sure. But there was so much different things going on. That's why.
Well, we're going to be blessed. Looks like the whole week with all this wind. And then we're even going to be blessed more that I think is Wednesday night. We got another cold front.
Yeah. Well, I was blessed this morning. And when I went out for bait this morning, it was supposed to be 5 mile an hour to maybe 8. I woke up. I looked at the St. Petersburg airport one. It was blowing 18. By the time I got to the boat ramp, it was blowing 22.
Jesus.
And then it mellowed out in the afternoon. Though, of course, on the way back in, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. But it looks like it dies down a little bit in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Everything I've been looking, but in the mornings is brutal. I mean, they're talking tomorrow 14 to 20, I think, and Wednesday it's even worse, I think. Jeez.
I almost had a charter for tomorrow. I had one of the girls I know that runs a boat. She does like the visitor boat, and they take them out for sightseeing and all that. And the guy was asking about fishing, so from the sightseeing boat, he called me up because she said he wants to go tomorrow. So I said, well, you need to get him to call me now. It's kind of getting late. It was like 6:30. I was like, how late are you gonna wait to let me know? So I told Barbara, I said, I guarantee you, this guy has no clue what a private charter costs. He called up. I gave him my prices. Oh, I said, well, I got a short trip that's 3 hours. I'll do that one for $450. Oh, that's like twice what I was thinking. I'm like, yeah, you ain't hiring a private boat then, buddy.
Well, it's like, Saturday morning on the way to the boat show, I get a guy calling me at 8:15 wanting to go out at 9:30 on a charter on a Saturday morning. I said, man, ain't going to happen. I said, it's the guys that are going to be on the water. They're already on the water. And the other guys, you got to give them 2 or 3 hours to get the boat ready, get in the water, get the bait, whatever they got to do. And I said, you're talking less than an hour and a half to get it all done.
Yeah.
There's Jessica's on there. Ken's still watching.
I'm looking to see who's on there. I see Sergio's on here.
Alejandro's on there.
Yep.
And Luis is on there.
Roger, Ken, Donald, Captain Anthony. How you doing, Captain Anthony?
Now,
darn it.
Hey, Louise, where does Louise live? You said it went from 60 yesterday to 20. He don't live in Florida.
No, and I forgot to send in. I had some pictures of Caden. I don't know. I can send them. I don't know. We'll see. If you can put them on, great, towards the end of the show. But Captain Anthony's stepson, the one that's going through a battle with cancer, he got out to fish a little bit, and I got a couple pictures of him with some fish. I'm going to send them in. If Holta can get them on, great. If not, then I'll get you on next week. But I'm glad to see that he was able to do a little fishing.
It's nice that, over the years, I've seen these young kids that are sick, and man, just getting them out in the water. And by the way, since we're talking about kids and stuff, pass the word. You got to be pre-registered.
Right.
June 7th. That's a Saturday. Picnic Island Park. We're doing the kids' 4th annual fishing clinic. The first 125 kids that are registered will get a rod, a reel, tackle. We're going to have CCA, FWC there. We're going to have Dylan Hubbard there talking about offshore fishing, all the different species. We're going to have Larry Fritz there. We're going to have Donald with his kayak talking about kayak fishing and safety. We're going to have about 8 tents, each one different. The mayor's going to be there about, the thing starts at about 9:15. She'll get there about 9:15. We'll be done by 11:30. We're going to feed everybody. And then all those 125 kids are going to get to take all that tackle home.
Right.
So, but as soon as you can pre-register, you're better off. You just got to send me I'll put my email address. You just got to send me an email. I need the parents or the guardian's name that's going to be there, phone number, how many kids, and the ages of the kids and what size t-shirt they wear. Because we're going to try, if we can get them. What happens, people wait till the last minute. I have to order t-shirts 5 weeks in advance, 4 weeks in advance in order to get them made. So I'm going to put my email address here, pass it on, because it'll be great. And it's June 7th at Picnic Island. I think all the kids will have a great time,
Yeah. And I can't stress it enough. Sergio's going to put his email address up there. If you do register for it and something comes up to where you can't make it, please email him and let him know, because there's another kid missing out because we have to have a cutoff. So if you can't make it, email Sergio, let him know so he can include somebody else that was not going to be able to make it because of the limit we have to set.
That's right. Yeah, because it isn't fair. We tell everybody, hey, we reached our limit. You can still bring the kids and they can participate, but we can't give them a ride and reel because it costs a lot of money.
Right.
And then when somebody doesn't show up, it kind of hurts everybody, All right, let me hear. I'm putting all this down so you can keep on talking. I'm just putting everything down here so people can see it.
I'm working on trying to get this. I got 4 photos of Caden, but for some reason, when I save them, it's only saving 2.
Well, send those two.
I'm gonna send the one I got. That definitely, because the 2 are the same. Technology. Sometimes you love to hate it.
Yeah.
So I sent one in. If both of them can get it on there, that'd be great. And actually, I'm glad. It's probably the best picture. Let me see if I do this. There we go. There's the second best picture. So now, there, 2 pictures sent. Hopefully, Holta can put them on. And, there's been an outpouring for Caden, and, it's just great to see that. And, can't say enough prayers for him. Well, I'll tell you what I saw today out in the water was when it warmed up in the afternoon, the threadfin have moved in. They were dimpling the top of the water. They were by some of the bridges. So threadfin have kind of showed up now. So if you can't catch whitebait,
you got threadfins.
That's a good alternative.
Hey, it's better than none.
It's better than nothing. And if they die, they make great cut bait anyway. It's probably one of the best cut baits out there. Now, the tournament you're doing, you're saying was switched from the 20th to June 6th.
Yep.
And that's the ABC tournament.
It's ABC, yeah.
I didn't have it down for the 20th, so I don't know if you told me about it or not.
They didn't change it. Hula Bay told them they had double booked on the 20th and they couldn't do it. So they told them the only day they would do it was on the 6th. So they had to change it.
Okay.
They say all the docks are going to be up.
Oh, yeah?
The April 25th tournament that I'm doing out of there.
Right.
It's all going to be up. So let's see what happens.
That'd be nice because those docks have been in disarray for a while now. Now, who is the 25th? Which organization is that one?
The crew tournament. Commercial Real Estate tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
And then on the 2nd is the ACG. And then that's May 2nd. And then June 6th is ABC. And then I think it's October 12th. It's ESPN Disney. So I've got 4 in the books already.
Right. Now, who is May 2nd again?
May 2nd is ACG.
ACG?
So we'll see what, and I'm hoping all this weather starts to straighten out. I mean, I'm so tired of this wind. You get one day, maybe a day and a half sometimes, and then all this comes back on again.
Well, just like it always happens. When I was coming over the bridge Saturday morning to go to the boat show, I was like, look at this flat, calm water. I'm like, you stink. I was cursing it all the way over the bridge.
But then the wind picked up, though.
Not so late afternoon now.
Late afternoon, but it got pretty nasty.
Well, Sunday afternoon,
really nasty.
It was real bad. But man, Saturday morning for at least half a day or better, it was flat. It was flat. I'm like, you stink.
Yeah, of course, we were working.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be like that. It happens often, but for the boat show, I don't want it to be raining out neither. Because that ruins the boat show.
No, especially I was with the boats outside. If you're inside, you're okay. More people come inside, but still, it's and I was looking to see if there was any really unique thing. There was one guy in front of us that had the night vision camera for your boat.
Yeah, he said he talked to you.
Yeah, it's just It's that Fleur, but it's a cheaper version of it.
Yeah.
His home version that he
Right.
made.
Right.
And then the guy was there that made. He had sent me one a long time ago. The floating shrimp. In fact, I got one right here. I'll show it to you.
That's the new one he just put out.
He said he was making those out of his house. He had the machine.
Yeah.
But he could only make like 6 or 8 at a weekend. So
Yeah.
he finally got together, and now he's having them mass produced by some
Right.
company here. And then he just puts them all together. He puts everything
That's
on.
That's the new one that you just showed everybody.
Oh, that's the old one.
That's the old one? I thought that was the new one.
The new one is green.
Huh.
And it's a lot better than this one. This
Is
is
it?
one of the first ones that he was putting out 2 years ago.
Right. So now he's got a company making them for him.
Yeah, what he does, he puts them together. He buys the foam cut, he buys the thing, and then I guess and the string, and then he gets 3 from 3 different locations, and then they come
Right.
into his house. Then he puts everything together and boxes it. But he doesn't. He used to have one of those foam machines that makes the stuff, and he said he would sit there all weekend to make 8.
Remember the net guy was saying, "Oh, George uses my nets," and I told you, I said, "I've never used his net in my life."
That's what he told me.
Yeah, well, he's working through Todd now.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's selling them through Todd. Well, Todd stopped by the booth, but you weren't there. And I've known Todd for I can't tell you how many years, but I actually did a show with Todd when he used to do this, film the show that he had, you know, inshore. We did a wading fishing show together at Fort DeSoto. It was a really good show. Came out good. But I was talking with him. And I said, "Hey, remember when you used to sell the nets?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "I bought like I think at the time I bought like 5 from him, but I bought 3 at one shot." I said to him, I said, "The nets he has, is that the same nets? Like, is he getting it from your supplier? Because he's saying that's what I'm using." And I said, "I'm not using that. I got the Black Pearl going on right now." But Todd said his nets are completely different. The 2 different distributors. It's not even the same net. So he just thinks I was using his net.
But Todd's using this guy's net now, I think.
Now Todd is selling that guy's net, through his store. But I've never thrown one of those. I mean, it feels like nice material, but it's not got like the Black Pearl. You know, all the leads are sealed, and it doesn't get tangled.
It's heavier mono.
Yeah, and it doesn't get tangled, so that's kind of nice.
That's one thing. You know, Saturday, that group I had, like,
oh, look at that. We both got Black Pearl on the TV at the same time, and we're talking about Black Pearl.
There it is, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's
But
nuts.
I think I saw 5 got ordered through the
On
internet.
the thing, yeah.
Yeah, because that's how you buy those. You just order them.
Right.
And I told them, I said, if you put Sergio 30, they'll give you $30 off.
Right.
And they did. So, but it's so easy because you know, I've been playing around with it, and it's just it doesn't get tangled up because those little balls, man, they get intertwined, and it's a pain sometimes.
What I liked about it was when I'm getting it ready, especially like sometimes you see bait coming your chum really, and you want to have the net like ready real quick to throw again. And what I liked was once you got it ready, you know, a lot of times when I was using the other kind of net, I'm looking for a lead at the length of my arm to hold on to. With this thing, you just slide right down and grab it because the whole thing's a lead.
Yeah, it don't matter where you put it.
The whole thing's a lead.
But I tell you, when I practiced there yesterday showing the guy, I didn't even do anything special. I just got him put some right here. I didn't go underneath. I don't
do that.
I just threw some right here, grabbed it, and it opened up perfect.
Yeah.
Because you know you got some guys that want to swing it underneath their arm, or some just. You know, I just throw some right over my left arm a little bit, and that's it. And it seems to work great.
Yeah. Well, on the larger nets, like the 12 or 14 footers, not how heavy it is, I can see them doing the under the arm and over the shoulder because you're splitting it into 3 to make what you're throwing lighter. But on a 10-foot net, you don't need to do all that.
And you know, that was a 1.3 pound.
Right.
It was 13-pound net.
Right.
And it opened up really, and even on that concrete floor, when it slid, it was still about 80% open.
Yeah.
It would have been
Like,
in the water, would have been perfect.
The first day I showed the people how to throw it, I pancaked it, and it actually spread open, but it spread open so good on the concrete that when it spread open,
It
it sprung back shut. Yeah, because you're sliding on the concrete.
Because there's nothing to stop it.
Plus that was a show net. We never soaked it with fabric softener. You get a brand new net, you want to soak it for at least 4 hours, or maybe even overnight if you want to, but 4 to 5 hours is probably good. And I like to use fabric softener that has no scent. I don't want to have any kind of chemicals on the net. Make sure you rinse it real good.
You soak it in Manhattan oil.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Let me know how that works out for you. That way it attracts bait while it's sinking.
Please don't do that. Don't do. I'm only joking because I can see some guy calling me and says, "This net
I
just
did that.
stinks.
My shirt is wrecked,
and it stinks." That's why Manhattan oil is very good, but my God, it stains everything. It gets on your vinyl on your boat. It stains it. It stains your clothes.
It don't taste good neither.
I don't know how good it is, but let me tell you, it does stain because
it stains
I got
everything.
a bunch of clothes that got stained, and I had some rub rails that got all messed up.
And if you were to spill that and that got down into any hatch, crevice, good luck. You're gonna have a stink on there for a while. It don't matter if you wash it; it smells.
It probably bring the roaches too.
Yeah.
Well,
so how many reports do we have tonight?
We've got Tony Franklin, yours, a little one from Pam, and Ken sent pictures. But he forgot to put the voice with the pictures. What happened, Ken?
No, Ken said he didn't have a report, but he had pictures. I'm like, how can you have pictures with no report?
Yeah.
I don't even care if you went out for yourself. Just let us know what you did to
catch those pictures. You mean you caught fish. So you got a report. I can see you saying, well, I got a report, but I didn't take pictures.
Yeah. It's like, let us know how you caught those sheep's head.
Yeah, Ken.
What kind of water depth were you in? Did you use
text us how you did it? Send it through Facebook. Tell us how you caught those fish.
I got a giggle out of that today. He said, I have pictures, but I don't have a report. I'm like, huh?
I don't understand that. There you go.
We just want to know, was shrimp the ticket for you? Was fiddler crabs? Catch them on a yo-yo fishing lure? I tell you what, you see it all the time on the internet. I've experimented with a lot of different stuff, but it's funny. I drive my wife nuts because I'll buy just different things. I tried marshmallows with crab scent on them for sheep's head just to see if that would work. The little mini marshmallows, and that didn't work. They didn't like it. Even with the crab scent on the marshmallow, it didn't work. But trust me, I tried all kinds of stuff from the grocery store, and I have caught them on corn. Okay, I have caught them on corn. But then there's a guy that I follow on Facebook or YouTube.
I saw a guy with a can of corn.
Yeah, well, I've caught them on corn. That's kind of like that one I tried on because that's what I used to use growing up for everything. Corn caught, carp, bass. I mean, you can catch almost anything on corn. Bluegill. So I tried that on the sheep's head. You do get some, but it's not guaranteed. Mussels will work, but that gets expensive. But he's tried pinto beans, this guy, and
I've seen the same guy.
Yeah. But I try a lot of different things because sometimes when we need the fiddler crabs the most, that's when you can't get them usually, and they're buried down in the sand real bad. But I don't know, with this change in let's call it in their system, they've been a month and a half late every year now for a couple of years. So it's kind of becoming the new pattern, which is actually a little better for us because there's available for fiddler crabs because it's a little warmer and the guys can get them. And I still got a tank full of fiddler crabs left over, and I canceled my trips this week because Wednesday just looked horrible. Thursday's not looking that good.
And Friday don't look good.
And I got one for Sunday, but now Sunday they're saying is going to be bad. So that might not happen. So I might end up letting these fiddler crabs go over by my house to see if because there's a few over there by my house, not too far from my house, but not a lot, and they're small. I said the bar would say, "Oh, let these go. You never know; they might start a little colony, and I won't have to go too far to get them."
Yeah. Lewis says, "What about lizards?" Where are
Lizards is
you?
good for bass. I'll tell you that right now. Bass, and I bet you a snook would
Oh,
blast them.
frogs. Hey,
Yeah.
that's why they got the artificial those
Oh yeah.
frogs.
I bet you a snook would blast a lizard, swimming across the top of the water.
Well, I know that I've heard some of the guys have used the little small the floating frogs, and they're catching some redfish and snook on them.
That, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when I first started in the saltwater, that's all I was using was all my freshwater lures in the saltwater and catching redfish and snook, but more reds at the time. That's what I was going after. Christopher Yates just signed on. How you doing, buddy?
Now listen, I got this thing, and you probably read it too on Red Drum, about everything. But here's something I didn't know. Okay, now listen, it basically it's all the same. The season's going to, because they just redid this whole thing. Season's open all year long.
Right.
Slot limit 18 through 27.
Right.
Bag limit 1 per person, 4 per vessel per boat. So if you got 6 people on the boat, don't matter. Only 4.
Well, they upped it. It used to be 2.
Okay, so it's 4. Now, it can't be captain and the first mate. Don't count. So you can't count them for a fish. They got to be landed intact. I can understand that till you get to shore. Commercial harvest, of course, is prohibited. But listen to this.
Yeah, again, TV.
I didn't know this.
Go ahead.
Okay, legal gear, hook.
I know.
Line and cast net.
It's so stupid. I don't even want to say it on TV because I don't want people doing that.
I read this and I said, wait a minute. Legal gear, hook and line. Okay. It's a game fish, right? And cast net.
Well, if you actually go on FWC's website and you start looking at all the allowable gear for each species, it will blow your mind. You can cast net a cobia legally. You can cast net sheep's head, which I think is crazy because you can wipe them out. I mean, they hang out by the pylons and stuff, and I mean, they get loaded up on some of these docks, and I've seen them out there at
the flats. You'll see 8 or 10 running right in front of you.
Wheaton Island, the broken down bridge that everybody fishes that you're not allowed to fish right now. They have it closed down, but when it was open, I've seen guys throwing 10, 12 foot, like probably 1-inch mesh nets for the sheep's head when they see them, and you can legally do it. I don't get that.
But that one is the one that blew my mind. Of all things,
no,
I said, why?
Why would you do that? It's a protected species. It's a protected species.
It's like you can't net a snook.
No, but I tell you what, one night at Gandy, I seen these guys netting snook when you used to have the catwalk that you could walk on the fish. And I called FWC. I said, you need to get out here. They got snook in the bucket. They're catching them with a cast net. I waited a half an hour. The building's only on the other side of the bridge. Nobody showed up.
There might not be anybody there. Just because there's a building there doesn't mean somebody has to be there.
But that's where I called to report it. Let's see.
And because I've called them before. One time I called them for
short-handed.
Harbor. There was a guy in there illegal, with the illegal net. And they said, well, our guy's up on the north end of the bay. And by the time he gets there, this guy's going to be gone.
Yep.
Go up and get a picture of his FL numbers.
Yeah,
I said, oh, yeah.
And then,
I said, I ain't that stupid. Then the guy's going to know who I am. And then when they get him, guess what? He's going to be looking for me. I said, no, I ain't doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's get Tony Franklin's fishing report.
Sure.
Hi, Captain Tony Franklin back with this week's fishing report. Well, getting ready to go out on a charter here again today. We're leaving the boat ramp right now here in a minute. Just pulling up to the ramp after getting some bait. Right now the sheephead bite once again this week has been really fantastic. Mostly around oyster beds, residential docks, The more structure around the docks, the better it is. There's been some sheephead around the local bridges. So sheephead bite's been really good. Small pieces of busted up shrimp threaded on a hook with a number 4 size split shot's been working the best. Once again, the trout bite still is on fire again. Spotted sea trout, got some nice ones this week. They're on the deeper grass flats. They're in some of the backcountry creeks, in the deeper pockets of water back in the deeper creeks. We've also got some around mangrove oyster beds, any kind of deeper pockets of water that's a little bit warmer in the deeper creeks and the residential canals. So that's what's been working good. Had a few Spanish mackerel show up this week. We caught 5 or 6 mackerel around one of the local bridges. So the mackerel have showed up a little bit. I don't know if they're here to stay, depending on the water temperature. Caught a few mangrove snappers this week, not large ones. Sand trout bite's been really good. So that's been good. Been a lot of action. Bonnethead sharks on some of the sandy pockets. So been a lot of action out there. So get out on the water, catch you some fish, tight lines, and I'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that.
Always does a good job.
I don't even want to say it, but I'm on the website now. There's definitely some species on the list, because I don't want to announce it because people, but there's definitely some species on the list that allowable gear is cast net, which blows my mind, because it's like, how can you, especially like you're saying, redfish, one of the species we've had to close down in the past because lack of them, and this is their updated rules, and you're going to allow cast netting.
It's crazy.
That should be taken off of there. I don't know if we can do anything to get that done, but that should be taken off there.
I don't. You know what?
Good luck.
It's like, remember a couple of years ago, I think they did it just to make us feel good. I got the phone call and, "Oh, Sergio, we want your input as a charter captain on the redfish thing. What do you think? Should it be closed, or the size and whatever? We really want you." Everybody gave their input. I know what a lot of people said to them. They already had made up their mind. But you know what? They figured, well, we make everybody feel good. We asked them the questions,
Right.
It's,
all right.
it's
I have to do a correction.
Okay.
All right. We got to do a correction. Listen, please, everybody that just listen to the rules that Sergio read. Because I was reading the same thing on my phone. But what it is when you open up that area on the website, it's the wrong region that's open. In the Tampa Bay region, it is still only 2 fish per vessel. Okay, same slot limit, 18 to 27, but they still locked it in at 2 per vessel.
So it's just a panhandle region.
Right. It's 1 fish per person. If you're from land, if you got 10 people and they're fishing separately, they can each keep the fish. But on a boat, it's still just 2 per vessel in our area.
But it's still cast nets.
Oh yeah, no, that's in general. It's not even area. When you look that up on the website, it's not by area. It's just for that species allowable gear, and it just tells you. And there's so many fish you can cast net that should not be like cobia. Why should cobia, which cruise right below or sit right below the water where you can see them, why would that be a fish that
you know
what with your net?
I think if you're crazy enough or dumb enough to try to net, that a good cobia is going to tear your net all apart.
Well, years ago, I won't say any names, but the rumor was that I heard it from more than one person. Somebody was trying to film a show one day about cobia fishing, and they weren't biting that day. So they cast netted one, hooked it in the mouth, let the line out, and then set the hook and reeled it back in on camera.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. And I know it's true because too many people saw it happen.
Well, but you got to understand, they used to do some of that years ago, because I was told, on bass fishing.
Oh yeah.
They were going to an area that actually hire some guides, and they would put some big bass in pins. And then when they go out, if they couldn't get any big bass on during the filming,
right,
you see them hook the fish,
right,
cut, put that big bass, let them go back out and bring him in.
Yep. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you casting a cobia, you better be using a real junky net that you don't care about, because that thing has spikes on it. People don't realize, you got to be careful when you handle a cobia. There's spikes that are kind of retracted in the top dorsal fin area, that when they come out, oh my goodness, if your hand is there and that thing swats at you, it's going to do some damage. But it'll blow your mind. That I don't care that it's legal. I would never do it. Like cast netting a redfish.
And a snook will make a hole in your net.
Yeah, well, snook,
that.
you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
That one, at least, it's not allowable.
But, you don't never want to hook, even by accident. I don't care what, because
Right.
he'll go right through your net.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get those gill plates, man. He'll just cut it out.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you an example of how sharp, so everybody can understand what we're talking about, how sharp a snook's gill plate is. The other week, about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, we caught a decent-sized snook, and the dolphin were being relentless. And after what Kyle went through, I was kind of leery about putting it in the live well. So I was like, all right, I am going to take this fish, and I'm going to give him the good heave-ho to go to the mangrove. So I gave it a nice toss. The gill plate went across my fingernail, cut 1/3 of my fingernail almost all off, to where it was just hanging on by a thread, and I had to pull it off. But it actually cut through my fingernail. That's how sharp it was. I couldn't believe it. And the worst part was, maybe the good part, it was so sharp, I didn't feel it happen. I threw the fish, and then I was doing other things, and all of a sudden I seen blood, and I was like, oh my God, look at that. Cut my finger. And it wasn't.
That gill plate is very, it's like a razor.
So
Luis wants to know, what about tarpon? What about tarpon?
go ahead, cast net some tarpon. Those are good. Yeah. Hold on. I actually had that on my phone just a second ago, because I was looking at. I was looking to see which ones were allowable. I guess you can look it up yourself, but
I got it right
they
here.
allow trout. They allow trout to be cast netted also, which I think is ridiculous. No, I got it right here. I meant everybody can look it up. So let's see, allowable gear. No, hook and line only. They won't even let you use multiple hooks with live or dead bait. It's prohibited for tarpon. And I don't even want to touch the taboo about the whole jigging for them.
Well, now you're not. That's illegal now. But when I was growing up, it was called a breakaway jig, and all it was a jig head with no hook on it. Use a electrical tie.
Yep, zip tie.
Yeah, zip tie, and then all it did is it got that hook down there where all those tarpon were in Boca Grande Pass, and people were just jerking, and most of those fish were all hooked on the outside, never in the mouth. Very few. They were all hooked all over the place. That's why they put a stop to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of species. Like I'm saying, here's what used to happen, and this is what hurt our trout population also, besides red tide, of course. But these guys would sit during the day out on their boats, the commercial guys, and they would watch to see where people were catching trout at. Then late afternoon, when everybody went in, they would go out to cast nets in those same areas, and they would just cast net, move down, cast net, and they could wipe out a whole trout population, 1, 2, 3. And I don't understand, if it's the species we're protecting, and we actually, after red tide, have shut it down completely to where you couldn't keep snook trout or redfish, why would you have allowable gear for trout and redfish cast nets? Yeah. I think we got to petition that. That's just stupid.
At the end of 4th Street, when I was growing up, there was an old pothole back in there. And there used to be actually a little shrimp place. A crabber used to live there.
Yep.
In the first couple of cold snaps, all those trout, because you know how shallow it would get into that hole. And I remember, if it was cold that week, Saturday morning, we were all going down there, and everybody would wave fish along the shoreline, and you could catch one trout after the other, big trout. And then you go the next weekend, and all of a sudden, it was very few trout, and they were all small, and a lot of them, you can see them. The netters would go in there at night with the gill nets, and just circle that hole, and they could
Right.
probably pull out the 3,000 trout out of that hole in
Sure.
one night. So by the time you went there the next time, they cleaned it out.
Remember the guys that got busted with the jet skis and the nets up by Gandy? They were doing that. They were putting these long nets out, and they got busted actually, so that was good. But that hole that you're talking about, I used to wade out to the little island that was by it. You know what I'm talking about? There was that little island, and I'll tell you what, I seen about a 6-foot rattlesnake swim from one shore past me to the island, and I was like, "Oh, I need to get out of here."
But you know, back years ago, the attitude was when I was me, Dave Marquette, and all these guys, we used to go to all these meetings, and you know, oh, we want you at the meetings to get your input. And that's where the kingfish stuff was. Remember, they were netting all, just wiping out the kingfish. And the commercial guys, I remember Dave and I, Dave Marquette, myself, Larry Levine, I think there was 4 or 5 of us there on one corner. And we heard one guy tell the other one, yeah, and somebody answered and says, well, what's going to happen if you guys wipe out all the kingfish? There's nothing left. We'll just get a different job, go do something else. I mean, you know, they didn't care that, hey, I'm making a living at this. You know, we got to protect it. We got to protect it.
Right.
But what bothers me is that sometimes they put the limits on the everyday Joe that works all week. He's got the weekend or a Wednesday to get out there and fish for a while. We put all the pressure on this guy about holding back, but then the commercial guy can still go out there and catch a whole bunch of them.
And wipe them out, yeah.
But then they tell you, well, yeah, but you don't understand. At the end of the year, the regular guys are out catching the commercial. Bull. Okay. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. That's one time I cannot accept that as an answer because the average guy can only go out on the weekends. And then if you got 3 weekends in a row, you don't go at all.
You're only allowed three trout, let's say. Yeah. So, and what it really comes down to is money. That's what it really boils down to, is where the money, follow the money trail. You'll find the answer you want.
That's right. That's why these politicians making $177,000 a year, and they go in with nothing at the end of 8 years. They're worth $80 million.
Yeah,
something's wrong.
We got 15 minutes left. We better throw another report up.
Shall we get Pam?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Hey, Pam from Tampa Fishing Outfitters again. And we're sitting here looking at the water starting to warm up, and the fish bite is really great. I was in Jacksonville all weekend, and the key there was tinier baits. So I'm still using a little smaller bait, but they'll probably end in a week or two. As you can see right here, this is the Z-Man pinfish color. That was very, very effective if you're in water that has any type of murk to it whatsoever, or any type of color to it instead of gin clear. It worked exceptionally well. Look at the fish that I caught. These were amazing. Almost all of them were on that pinfish color. I did cut off their tails and put a little spinner in the rear end, but except for that, it was just using the same bait. The key was moving it a little slower than I like to, but it really attracted the fish, and the bite in Jacksonville was off the chart. So y'all, the weather's warming up. Wednesday might be a little rainy, but except for that, it should be great days out on the water. See you there. Whoa. Welcome to Jacksonville. Man, look at this guy. Just got him on a lure that I made. Feel good about that on my Daiwa setup. Look at that. The honker. Getting back in the water. Pre-fishing in Jacksonville, and this is my first red of the day. Woohoo!
All right.
Beautiful. Nice job, Pam.
Pam says she does not get notifications anymore when the show goes on. So we got, I guess she has to either resubscribe.
I'll go in and re-put her in there.
Yeah, like you know how we get the notifications. But that she says she doesn't get anymore. Now Jacksonville, you gotta look at it this way. Jacksonville's a lot further north than us. Because right now on these warmer afternoons when it warms up, I'm getting fish going nuts over 4 to 6 inch whitebaits. They're chasing them down and they're digging them. I've got a mix of bait going on right now, white bait, deeper water, 12 to 15 feet of water. I'm getting it in 3 different places. Just depends on which way the wind's blowing on where I'm going, basically. But I'm getting baits anywhere from about, let's see, probably about 3.5 inches up to about 5.5 inches, I'd say, maybe 6. And I'll tell you what, they have not been shy about hitting those big baits. Today, I actually threw more big baits than little ones just because the fish were good and they were liking them. So throw what they like.
And Donald says he doesn't get any Facebook notifications either, but he gets it on Rumble. So
that's strange. Yeah, I don't get them anymore neither. Now that I'm thinking about it, I only get it because I'm getting the live link from Holta. But I used to get one of my clients. He gets the notifications from YouTube sometimes that the show is going on, but he doesn't get it from Facebook. I wonder why.
What can we do at our end to get it?
I don't know. I got to look that up. I have to find out.
I mean, I've got the two Facebook channels, and I'm maxed out 5,000 on each one. So
Yeah.
I have to bump some people out that I never really ever see them.
But it should, no matter what, if they're subscribed to the show, to the channel, when you go live, they should get a notification. Might have to call up Facebook, send them a message or text message or something. I don't know. It's tough to get a hold of them now.
Yeah. Well, he says he sees the channel on his feed. Yeah, Roger says his came up.
Well, I think you see the show on your feed, but when the show goes live, you actually get in your notifications that says Florida West Coast Fish Report is going live. You know, like you actually get the notification is what we're getting at. I know some people do, but I haven't gotten it anymore. You know, so that's kind of strange now that I'm thinking about it.
No, you might be right, because I don't think I get any.
Huh.
No.
We'll
have to do something about it.
And then, I know we got my report. Well, we had Ken's fishing picture report.
Yeah, Ken's? Okay, yeah, well, let's get, since he's on there. Hey, Ken, we're going to put your pictures on, but George and I, we're going to talk for you. We're going to say we caught those fish. We just got you holding them, okay?
We might have showed them, but we can show them again.
Yeah, sure. Let's
do a little narrate
time.
Hey guys, this is Captain George Hassett coming to you from the Florida State Fairgrounds. Yep, we got the boat show going. So I figured I'd give you a little taste of us over here at the boat show. Right now, whitebait is working great for me, and I'm also doing real well still with the Saltwater Assassin, the Sea Shad, and the Chicken on a Chain, Hot Chicken, and Electric Chicken. So chicken is still getting it done for me. Right now, moving water, the snook are going nuts over the whitebait. The redfish are coming out from underneath the mangroves, also for whitebait and shrimp. I've even caught some lately on the fiddler crabs. While fishing for Sheepshead along the docks, we're actually getting some redfish on the fiddler crabs. So, you know, it's been a good mix. The larger trout are still here. We're getting anywhere from 18 to about 22-inch trout. They're taking shrimp, the sea shad, and also the whitebait. Some of your larger snook are around, so if you got some larger whitebaits, don't be afraid to throw those out there. I heard from some of the other captains that they're catching some of the redfish on cut bait. I haven't tried the cut bait yet. I haven't had to. The live bait's been working really well for me. On the redfish, it's basically maybe about, because the tides haven't been real high, so maybe about an hour before high tide, the redfish bite has been pretty good. That's about when I'm getting them. You just need to have some water to work with. The snook, even on low tide, as long as you got a little bit of moving water, those snook are feeding, and it's been a good time. The trout are just as finicky as the snook. I don't care if it's outgoing or incoming, but the trout bite has always been much better on the moving water. So that moving water, smaller live white baits in about that 3-inch, 3.5-inch even, is getting it done. but don't be afraid to throw soft plastics right now. You can cover a lot of ground, and when you're covering a lot of ground, that will increase your odds of finding where the bulk of the trout are hiding. So once you find where the bulk of them are, you can catch one after another. So that's my tips for this week. Have a good day.
All right. So Roger said he was right. I just, well, they said we had somebody new want to know about the fishing. You know, what area he lives in, Hernando. So we cover mostly all the west coast of
Right.
Florida, and our TV show covers most of Florida. So
Today, I had some people out today that went out with me on Friday. They had a really good time on Friday, so they wanted to go again one more time before they left. And the one lady, Kim, on the boat, she caught a monster snook on Friday. A nice 34.5-inch snook. So it was a nice one. And then what was funny was today, I thought she had another snook because we were using some decent sized baits. She reeled in a monster trout on a 5-inch bait.
wow.
I thought she had a snook because it kind of looked like, the size wise, it looked like it was a small snook. But then she caught another nice sized snook, slot snook, and then her husband had to come back and outdo her and beat her. So
Oh,
funny.
Jesus.
Yep.
Shall we do yours?
No, we just did mine.
Oh, is that one? Okay.
Yeah, that one was mine.
Oh, that's right.
think we're
I
caught up.
didn't know if that was something
Yeah,
different.
I think we're caught up now. Except, and I know Hulta did it once already, but if you could put the little Caden picture up again, because I sent 2 pictures of Caden, and that's the kid that's going through a hard time right now. You know, he's out of the hospital, but he ain't out of the woodwork. But I got 2 cute. Captain Anthony sent the pictures into the sun, and 2 cute pictures. Just the smile and the excitement. You can see his true excitement of catching a fish on his face. You know what I mean?
Putting over here, I would like to go up to New Jersey, New York, and do a striper show. You know,
All right.
I remember when
Donald
I was working a boat show in New Jersey, and they had a tournament going on right there, right in the backside, because the boat show was right on the river, I guess, or whatever.
Rich, you can watch the show on YouTube and Facebook is the 2 easiest ones, I would say.
Yeah. As far as this show, yeah.
And then Donald says he would like to see the redfish go up to 20 inches, which I don't have a
I
problem
like
with
to
that.
see it to go 22.
I wouldn't have a problem. I mean, 20, I think 20 is a good size because once you get into 20, that's a nice keeper size. 18 is really on the small side to keep.
I got a cramp.
I was going to say, Sergio's doing some dance for us or
Oh
something.
man, I got a cramp on my left leg. It really went crazy. Let's see. He says, I went scuba diving off a Point Pleasant, saw World War II
Wow.
wrecks and sunfish on the surface.
Well, when I was younger, my parents owned a house in Point Pleasant. And it was kind of neat. It was kind of, there was a dock. I'm assuming it was I was really young, but I'm assuming it was our dock. Like the house was way back. And then you walked like through this little, I don't want to say woods, but you walk through this area and you got to the dock. And I remember going crabbing, like we'd go in the little rivers back there, the saltwater marshes and blue crab. And we filled up, it was nothing. We filled up 2 like large garbage cans full of live blue crab. We brought them in the house. And the funniest thing, one of the garbage cans fell over and the crabs went all over the kitchen. And so we thought we picked them all up. Well, one went underneath the counter or something. We didn't see it. And we're all in the living room watching TV. And my aunt was in the kitchen. And all of a sudden we hear her, ah, and there's this crab coming at her. And she's in the corner like, yeah.
Hey, good thing that you found it though. If it would have died underneath.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I agree though. 18 is definitely too small. That's just
20. It's like
20
flounder. You know, when flounder was only 12-inch flounder's got no meat.
nah.
To me, a decent flounder to eat, 18 inches, 20 inches.
Right.
Now you got a bit of meat. A little 14, 15-inch flounder. I don't think there's enough there to kill them for.
I'll be honest with you. I think they should change mangrove snapper to 12 inches.
I'm agreeing with that too. A little 10-inch mangrove,
I don't keep them.
it's a shame. I
Yeah.
think you're right. 12-inch.
It's
And
about
you-
where it gets decent.
Yeah. Now 12-inch, you can get two nice little fillets with
Yep.
Cuban bread, toasted.
No, Italian bread.
sauteed
Italian
onion.
bread.
No, Cuban bread. Hey, sauteed onions. Oh man, lightly pan fried. Throw them on that warm Cuban bread, toasted, lightly toasted.
Yep.
Got it.
Woodbridge exit. Yep, I remember that name. Even though I was young, I remember Woodbridge. Yep. But yeah, like today, we caught some mangrove snapper that were. We got one that was I think 13, and they kept that one, and they kept a couple. They were leaving tomorrow, so they didn't want to keep a lot of fish. But they caught a lot of stuff on Friday, and they had a big fish fry. I think they had like 1 or 2 fish left over, so they took home only 2 of the sheep's head today and 1 mangrove snapper if they want to try it. But we caught some mangrove snapper that were 11 inches, and I told them, I said, it's not really worth keeping. I said, it's better just to let them grow up a little bit. And they were like, we got enough fish from the other day, so yeah, we're fine with that, you know. And you just gotta try to talk them out of it, because sometimes the rules aren't always right.
Yeah, and it's like with mackerel, you know.
Oh,
I know you
God.
can keep 15 per person, but you know what, guys, mackerel is not a fish that you want to freeze.
No,
You want to eat it fresh. And you got 3 people on the boat. They all live in the same household. They don't need 45 mackerel.
that
Okay?
should be 5.
Yeah, I mean, if they each kept 2 mackerels a person, that's 4 fillets. They can eat 2 days fresh mackerel.
I mean, we're at 15 right now, which is ridiculous. And I think, okay, make a big jump and take it down to 5. At least 5 would be somewhat
Even
manageable.
sheephead should be
8.
not 8, should be 5.
Yeah, even 4 on the sheep's head, I think.
I mean, just some of these things that, yeah.
I don't understand. We try to conserve, and I know you want to let people be able to, but how much okay, let's say the guy goes fishing by himself, but he's trying to provide for maybe his wife and kid. They want to have a fish dinner. So I can understand maybe having 4 or 5 per person, but 15, that's just.
And this is my problem. I take some of these local guys.
Yeah, I know.
And so, I got this soft side cooler.
Right.
It's 20 by 30 with about 8 pounds of
Right.
ice in it. It'll hold about 12 decent mackerel, maybe 15
Right.
the most. And I tell them, guys, when this bag is full, no more mackerel.
Right.
Because you
Right.
can't keep them alive in the well, and you got to have them fresh. And I make sure I got plenty of ice, because I remember, they look at you and say, but we're allowed 15 a person. I said, but you're not going to eat. Listen, there's 2 of you guys. That's
Yeah.
30 mackerel. You're not going to eat 30 mackerel in a month and 2 months. Why
I got-
kill that many fish?
I better get a good tip if I got to clean 30 or 45.
I don't. No. Hey,
Nah, I'm not.
when it comes to mackerel and stuff especially when we used to have a lot of silver trout, remember you could get all you wanted, and
100
those was
pounds.
no limit.
100 pounds.
I used to tell everybody I clean 5 trout per person. That's
Right.
it, because that's
Right.
easy. And mackerel is easy to clean.
I'll tell you what, the silver trout, when they move in, I have one client that just loves catching silver trout. Only because he likes the action. It's when you get a big school of silver trout, it's, you throw a lure and it's one after the other. He loves the action. But I tell you what, those silver trout, like 2 years ago, we were getting them, and they actually came into where they were getting like 14, 15 inches, which was
Yeah.
pretty good for silver trout. There's a lot of meat on a silver trout.
A 12-inch silver trout has got as much meat as a 15-inch speckled trout.
Sure.
Because they're fat.
Thicker. It
Thicker.
is. It's thicker.
I mean, when you fillet that sucker, you got almost an inch thick on some of them.
It's kind of funny though, because the guy I'm talking about, his wife can't stand him. He's like, I don't want to catch those. So they fight about where they want to go to fish.
Well, that happens. Well, I think we're out of time.
We are.
Hey, guys, thank you for tuning in again. We appreciate you guys. Pass the word.
Support.
Yeah. And don't forget about the Kids Fishing Clinic, June the 7th at Picnic Island. Have people just go ahead and email me so I can put their kids down and make sure that they get their rod and reel. Okay? And thank you, guys. And thank you, George. Thank you, Jota.
Have a good night, everybody.
Goodbye.